Welcome to my first LinkedIn Live here. Just learned that I have the capabilities, and you can see it's after hours here. Normally, I'm in my business attire, and I'm in the recording studio without it. But I thought I'd share a LinkedIn poll that I saw earlier today that I commented on. And bear with me here as I try to figure my way through all the logistics of the LinkedIn Live and trying to figure out who's watching and who's not. But I'm going to share with you a screen. All right. Sharing screen's easiest with two monitors. All right. I saw this poll today, and it reminded me of account-based marketing strategies. And I just pulled it up here. Hopefully, you can see the poll. But the question that Alexander Buckles asked, and I thought it was a really thoughtful question. You're going to see the answer here because I clicked in what my response was, but thought it was worth kind of the discussion because we see a lot of this in account-based marketing right now where a lot of clients are struggling. Like they agree on the philosophical alignment of an account-based strategy, but they don't know how to take it to the next step. And one of the areas is the sales and marketing relationship. And it's very easy for a salesperson to say, yeah, I'm all in on account-based marketing. And the CMO gets all excited and everybody's like, oh, I got 100% sponsorship. Like the CEO's bought in and my head of sales. But what do we do next? And this is one of the what do we do next kind of questions that comes up, which is you're really changing the dynamic for a salesperson from just picking up the phone and doing lots and lots of dials to being more of a detective. A good analogy that I've heard has been one where it's almost like a private detective. Like you've gone from a beat street cop to a private detective in terms of the level of understanding that you have to have when you're prospecting. So this kind of question that Alex poses is a really good one because he's asking about, well, who's doing the research and what does that research really consist of? So, stakeholders and initial account research, and that could span from company initiatives to firmographic information. There could be a bunch of different elements there. So he comes from a sales background. I know him. I don't know him well, but I do know of him. He comes from a sales background, so of course his polls, and these polls are very simplistic in LinkedIn. Like we're all getting bored with them, but I thought what was interesting here was, he listed kind of sales as the options of creating this research. And for the most part, we typically see BDRs taking the lead on this in our companies or in our clients. But I call a timeout on all of this because I think marketers should be the ones that spearhead this kind of initiative. So you'll see that I voted here in the 2%, and then you'll see my comment down below. And basically what I'm suggesting here is there's a lot of value for a marketer to be involved in doing this kind of research at the account level. One, you make sure that you're aligned with the sales organization, so you're focused on the right accounts, and you'd be surprised at how many companies don't focus in that same target market. Two, it's a really healthy exercise just to see what kind of information is valuable from a sales perspective, because it's not 100% valuable from a marketer perspective. So just getting a better understanding of how the SDR works is also helpful. I listed that, and just getting a better understanding of the persona, of who they're focused on, company initiatives, and just the process. Like as a marketer, you want to really be, in my opinion, as close to sales or in a selling capacity as possible. There's a lot of blurring of the lines right now where marketers are becoming more sales-like and sales are becoming more marketing-like. And this is one of the areas that's a real gray area. So I was in the minority of the report here, but you can see that I put an explanation here. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that stuck out in terms of my explanation, other than it's a step towards sales. And the other thing too with sales is, contrary to what a lot of marketers think, their time is extremely, extremely valuable, and you want them maximizing their shots on goal, meaning their conversations with qualified prospects so they convert and drive the revenue. So rather than having them doing routine research, it may make sense for marketers to at least kickstart the initiative, and then eventually sales may take this up as well. One other thing that I'll note here in our experience in doing this with other clients, and it's not a trivial exercise to get this kind of information in a usable format in your CRM system. So sometimes it requires some level of customization or customized fields. Sometimes there's basic level research that can be outsourced. We see that model a lot. But you do want to capture some of this free text information, and free text information is really challenging to report out on. I'm huge on reporting in Salesforce and marketing impact. But from a text perspective, it's really difficult to report on kind of what it is that you're doing research wise. So you have to kind of go into it with an open mind. But there could be a lot of value in doing this account level research, because when the salesperson is calling, then they're armed with the information. They're not spending 30% of their time having to unearth a lot of this information. They're already prepared and they're ready to go in their sales qualification process. So that was kind of my thought of the day. And this is my first LinkedIn Live. I'm kind of testing it out, hoping that the audio works well. And I'm going to continue to do these and experiment with them. So thanks very much for listening, and have a great 2022.